we stay ahead of our financial game. And we don't get this from other exchanges. It can only be here at Remitano. So today, with me is Sam, and Sam is going to be walking us through the concept of inflation, how inflation impacts our finances, and some of the tips that we can use essentially in the crypto space to avoid inflation and stay ahead of our game. And I can promise you that by the end of today's AMA, you would be a better person. You would understand the concept. You'll be able to work your way around the Remitano ecosystem and make maximum profit from it. In the course of the conversation, in the course of the lecture, you might have one or two questions. You can drop your questions in the comments. Feel free to drop your questions in the comments. And if time would permit us, we will take a conversational Q&A where you'll be allowed to unmute yourself and ask your questions. So I'll be yielding the mic to Sam. Sam will be taking it all over from here. Sam, please, I'm using the mic. Welcome, man.
I want to say thank you, Fele, for that amazing intro. I wanted to greet everyone in today's session. Thank you for joining us today. Today's going to be a very exciting session. We're going to be sharing a lot of tips on basically how to use crypto instruments in order to beat inflation. What we're going to be doing a lot is showing you specific tools that you guys can use on the Remitano platform that are going to assist you guys in making some extra money on the side. These are tools that I've been using just to make sure that I'm ahead of the curve a bit. And we wanted to add value to our clientele in the Remitano family. Like Fale said, there's no other platforms that are doing this. There's no other platforms that are actually equipping their clientele to be informed on how to make money. They're just talking about the newest product. And so this is something that we believe is a value add for all of our customers. So I think let's start the session. There's a lot to get through today, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's do this. Okay, so the topic for today is tips for avoiding inflation using the crypto space. Just looking at our agenda for today, we actually have three things that we're going to cover. Is the inflation problem in South Africa, focusing on South Africa, North Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and the world holistically. We're going to talk about the hedge with stablecoins, talking about how hard it is to get USD and rather getting USDT. We're going to go into detail as to what exactly are stablecoins, how they work, and how you can use them. And then we're going to teach you guys 3 strategies on how to make money using the Remitano platform. So how to use Remitano to fight inflation. We're going to talk about dollar cost averaging. We're going to talk about Remitano lending and setting up your price on swap and earning incomes. And then at the end, obviously, part of our conclusion is the AMA session. So you guys can actually ask questions. We can clarify anything that you guys have been wanting to know about. And if there's anything that we don't know, then obviously we'll send you guys the presentation at the end. We'll send you the links, and you guys can also post your questions. We'll take them to our officers, send you emails because we've got your usernames. Okay, so number 1, the inflation problem in South Africa, North Africa, and the world holistically. So this is an overview of the global and South African inflation chart, and it's basically showing you how inflation fluctuates throughout the year. We've got the chart looking at July 2022, where inflation was sitting at 7.8%. Each month, July, August, it goes to 7.6, September 7.5, October 7.6, it rises up. And obviously looking at January 2023, this year, it was sitting at 6.9, January, February, March, it went up to 7.1, and April at 6.8. So this is just a yearly view of how inflation can go up. But you guys all know that when we're looking at it from a 5-year gap or maybe a 10-year gap, inflation tends to actually increase on the linear charts. And what happens for us as people who live in third world countries, whether that be South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, India, Vietnam, is that as the global inflation rises, it impacts our cash flow as individuals, which means that all of a sudden we don't have the amount of cash flow that we normally have. Things are becoming expensive, you know, and all of a sudden you can't afford the things that you're normally affording, and you don't know what's happening. And we're going to talk about inflation and how inflation has an impact on you and your personal cash flow. So what actually is inflation? So inflation would be basically the increase of cost of living. You know, if you look at the cost of living for bread, growing up, maybe bread was maybe like 10 Rand or a couple of Naira. And then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 years later, the price of bread is increasing. You're looking at the price of petrol, the price of fuel. At one point, the price of fuel is like maybe, 13 Rand a liter. And over 5 years, all of a sudden, it's 18 Rand a liter. And each year, you're seeing it increasing. So that is what we would call inflation. But what causes inflation? What causes inflation? There's a few factors. Some of the factors that cause inflation are supply and demand. So when there's a low supply of goods, but there's a high demand globally for that good, for those specific goods, then that starts to create an inflation globally for everyone, because the whole world is now fighting for resources. Whatever the resource is, if that resource is becoming low and everyone, globally is now trying to buy it, that causes a scarcity mentality globally, and the cost of living goes up. Another thing that adds to inflation is the increase in the fuel price. Now, you guys know, obviously, with all the stuff that's happening economically with Russia, the Ukraine, and how all of a sudden Russia is just like, you know what? We're going to cut everyone off because we usually supply everyone, with fuel, etc. And all of a sudden, the price of goods is starting to rise. Why? Because every good that we consume, every service that we provide, whether you are selling, an iPhone, the iPhone has to be transported from California or China into the harbor. From the harbor, it has to be transported to the, the docking bay. From the docking bay, it has to be transported to the warehouse to the shops. And all of that needs fuel to move it from one side of the world to the other side of the world, or even when it lands in your country, it moves from one side of your country to the other side. And what happens is that if the fuel price starts to increase globally, the price of that specific good, or all the goods connected to that, are now increasing. Why? Because business owners are saying, you know what, I'm absorbing the cost. I'm the one paying for the increase in the fuel price. I'm the one paying for the delivery. So I need to make a profit. So I can't sell this good for maybe 10 Rand or 1,000 Naira. I've got to add the percentage increase of the fuel price onto my product. And who actually absorbs that increase? It's us, the consumer. We are the ones who are feeling it, like, oh my goodness, do you know how much an iPhone costs now? It's like 20 or 30,000 Rand, which is ridiculous. Do you know how much bread costs? Do you know how much milk costs? The cost of living starts to go up because somewhere in the value chain of business, there is an increase in either supply or demand or the fuel price. And what happens is that business people add that increase onto the cost of goods or the service produced. And then who has to absorb that? It's us as the consumers. So understanding that inflation is not something that happens far away. It's something that affects us day to day in our lives. And what is the solution that we have for you guys to be looking at is we're going to be talking about stable coins and how to hedge stable coin. So I know that there's some seasoned crypto traders in the room, but we also have some newbies who don't know what exactly a stable coin is and why it is important to get involved with stable coins. Now, one of the stable coins that we are going to focus on today, I know there's many out there that you guys are using, USDC and other specific coins, but we're going to be speaking about Tether. Or another name for it is USDT. Now, Tether is a cryptocurrency used for a variety of purposes. It provides a way for traders and investors to avoid the volatile market conditions by switching to a stable asset. Now, a brief description about Tether or USDT is that one USDT is always or should be in proportionate to one USD, the US dollar. Now, what happens is that the USDT coin in crypto is backed or leveraged by the US dollar, the actual currency of the US dollar. you know, back in history that the US dollar was actually backed by gold. So, you know, a specific amount of the US dollar was backed by gold, and that's changed because of specific, you know, government, you know, policies of them creating money. But the cryptocurrency of USDT is actually backed by the dollar. So if you have one USDT, it's the equivalent of you actually having $1. Now, why is it hard to get USD? Now, if you guys think about it, now we did this exercise like last week. If you want to buy USD now, you probably have to go to either a bank or a foreign exchange. And when you go to a bank or a foreign exchange, you're going to have to do a lot of red tape. You're going to have to bring your ID. You're going to have to bring your passport if you're staying in another country. You're going to have to explain if you are traveling, what uses do you have, where do you come from, and all this document for you to be able to access a US dollar. You can't just, you know, walk on the side of the road and get a US dollar. Obviously, you can get it, you know, in other ways, but if you want to get it legitimately, you have to go to a bank or a foreign exchange to get it. Now, what happens when you're traveling abroad and you're not able to access it? So our alternative is rather get USDT. It's a crypto and digital version of the actual US currency. Now, we've got 7 advantages and benefits for you getting USDT compared to the US dollar. The first one is global accessibility. If you're traveling abroad and you don't want to go through the paperwork, going to the queue, going to the bank, and the charges that you get, guys, when you take money in terms of the US currency or the dollar from the bank, they charge you an admin fee, they charge you a transaction fee, they charge you all these fees that they put into, you know, the actual transaction of you getting the money. And all of a sudden, you might have maybe $1,000 that you want to transact with, and you left with $990 or $980, and you're wondering, what happened to my other $20? Where did they go? The bank takes it in the transaction to give you the actual US dollar. But when you take USDT, you get it immediately. You can get it in any part of the world globally. Number 2 is the speed of transaction. You don't have to queue. All you need is your phone. You take your phone, you go into the Remitano app, you change your fiat currency, whether it's Naira in Nigeria, whether it's Rand in South Africa, whether it's Shilling in Kenya, whatever currency you use, whether it's Rupee in India, you take that currency, you go into the app, you change it, and you swap it for your USDT, and immediately now you have a US digital currency. It's low transaction fees. Now, if you've used Remitano, you know that the fees are incredibly low, so it's much cheaper than the bank. If you had to go to a bank, I actually challenge you guys to do this exercise. Go to the bank and tell them you want to get $1,000 and ask them for their transaction fees on how much it's going to be, and compare it to the low percentage of transaction fees that we have on the Remitano app, and you'll realize that it doesn't actually even make sense to transact and get the US dollar on, you know, your banking app, or to transact. It makes more practical sense to actually just go onto your Remitano app and then exchange it with your fiat currency. And number 2 is 24/7. Number 4, sorry, is 24/7 availability. The bank is open 9 to 5. You have to hold the queue. Whereas with the USDT, if you want to get the USDT at midnight, all you have to do is go on your phone, transact on the app, and you've got it. Number 5 is hedging against cryptocurrency volatility. Now, what happens now is because USDT is a stable coin and it's hedged against the US dollar, it's not going to fluctuate like your meme coins, like your Doge coin, and, you know, all these other meme coins that fly by night, and they come where they're worth, you know, $1 today, and then tomorrow you wake up and they're worth $100, and then you go to sleep and they're worth negative nothing. A USDT is a stable coin, which means it doesn't fluctuate as the crypto market moves. It's based on the US dollar currency, which means if you want to invest or hold in it, it's actually going to move gradually, and you are not going to wake up tomorrow and your investment is gone. And number 6 is integration into the digital ecosystem. Guys, you can see how the world is moving. We're moving into AI. We're moving into, you know, the digital world of crypto and the blockchain. So people don't know how to actually get into the crypto space. So just swapping your fiat currency for USDT is a very good intro for you to be able to go, hey, let me change my salary. Let me change my profits this month from Naira, from Shilling, from Rupee, from Rand into USDT. And now you have a crypto or digital asset currency that you don't have to think about. You immediately have skin in the game. And the last one is privacy. You don't have to share your ID documents. You don't have to share your proof of residence. You don't have to share where the source of funds comes from exactly. All you have to do is go onto the platform, exchange on the platform, and you have the digital currency. So these are the 7 benefits that we wanted to share with you guys to think, why would you actually want to own USD when you can have the digital currency that's globally accessible, quick to get? The fees are much cheaper than any bank. It's 24/7 available, and you're able to hedge the volatility as a stable coin. So you're not going to wake up tomorrow and all my money is gone. And the integration into the digital ecosystem, meaning now you have a digital asset and the privacy of actually owning the coin without going to share all your legal documents. Now, as I've said, guys, it's hard to get USD, rather get USDT. But what we want to talk about today is a feature called introducing Remitano's swap feature. Now, how does the swap feature work? It's actually super easy. All you do is you swap it. You go onto the app, you change your fiat currency, and you change it into USDT. It's literally as easy as clicking a button. You swap. Swap is a feature on the Remitano app launched to support fiat to crypto trading and vice versa. Number 2, it's fast, and under 5 seconds, you'll be able to have enough exchange for the digital currency to change from your fiat currency into your digital currency. It's convenient and it's integrated onto your wallet, meaning it's not like you have to open a specific account for USD or USDT or another specific account to have another cryptocurrency. No, you can literally put money from your fiat wallet straight onto, obviously it's on your app, and you just swap it. You click swap, and now you have a USDT stable coin. It's simple and user-friendly, easy to use. Now, for all the people who are familiar with Remitano and use the app, people always rave. The platform is so simple. The user interface is so easy to use. And I think that's a key point that the dev team has focused on is the app. If you compare it to your Luno, your Binance, and all these other platforms, they have so many different things that if you don't know how to operate the app, you'll be overwhelmed. Whereas Remitano is just making it very simple. Deposit fiat, swap it for a cryptocurrency, and if you want to sell it, you can sell it. If you want to withdraw, you can withdraw. And if you want to hold and wait for the currency to actually increase, you're able to do that. Now, how do you actually use the Remitano swap feature? Now, we've got a quick video that we want to share with you that I can show you guys, and you can see exactly how easy it is to use the Remitano swap feature.
Ready to enhance your cryptocurrency experience with Remitano Swap? Let's show you how. Remitano Swap offers a wide selection of cryptocurrencies, including BTC and 30 other coins, along with various fiat currencies like rands and nairas, catering to a diverse user base. Discover instant swaps. Seamlessly exchange one cryptocurrency for another, such as BTC USDT or BTC ETH, or even fiat for cryptos like Bitcoin to rand or USDT to rand. While you swap between crypto and fiat, you earn money from the price change. Remitano Swap lets you bypass the volatility of the cryptocurrency markets and also hedge against inflation if you convert rand to USDT. Forget complicated trading processes and make money in the meantime. Now that you're familiar with Remitano Swap, explore the extensive range of cryptocurrencies and enjoy the benefits of instant swaps. Register on Remitano today and begin your wealth building journey.
Cool, guys. So it's literally as simple as that. You take the currency, the fiat currency that you're using, put it onto your wallet, and you swap it for USDT. And what I like about what that video was saying was the fact that you are making a profit as the price change happens. Now, let me give you an example. Right now, the US dollar to rand is sitting at what? 17, I think it's 17.52. Just for $1 is to, the South African rand. So, I mean, a key strategy that we can all use is to buy maybe, $1,000 worth of dollars and hold that until the dollar increases to maybe 18 Rand 20. Now we're starting to make a profit off of each dollar. Each dollar that you've bought and you've held as the price increased, you are making a profit off of that. So your initial amount is going to stay, but now you've made a profit of the price fluctuation that's happening economically. You don't have to work. You don't have to get up and, leave the office. You don't have to literally sell a product. All you're doing is you're going onto your phone, you're buying a cryptocurrency, and you're waiting for the price to be higher than the price that you've bought it at. And that's a very simple key to make some money. Now, how to use Remitano to fight inflation. We're going to talk about the 3 strategies that you guys can actually start to use starting today that can make you money on the side. The first one is dollar cost averaging. Now, DCA or dollar cost averaging is basically a strategy where what you do is you buy dollars on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, irrespective of the price. This is not like a short-term strategy, like you scalping. It's like a swing strategy where what you do is you set, because when you get paid. Some people get paid at the end of the month. Some people get paid at the middle of the month. Some people get paid bi-weekly. Depending on what works for you, you can set out and say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually buy dollars each and every month on the 30th of each month. Now, this month, the dollar might be sitting at 17 Rand 52. Next month, it might go up to 18 Rand. The following month, it will go to 18.52. But you are not trying to focus on the immediate price level of I'm buying it at this price at 17.52. Your objective in the long term, as we all know, guys, living in South Africa, living in Kenya, Nigeria, in Vietnam, in India, that 80% of the time, the dollar is going to be stronger than our third world currencies. That's what generally happens. But what you are doing with dollar cost averaging is that you are saying, I'm going to buy the dollar continuously, knowing that 80% of the time it's going to rise. And as it rises up, I know that I've been buying dollars each and every month or each and every week. And now you are making a long-term profit because you have been swinging that trade, knowing that as the price increase, so as your positions have been going up. And so obviously the profit from this month, let's say it's 17 Rand 52, when it goes to 18 Rand 90, the profit margin from July to December is bigger maybe than the profit margin from August to December. But the profit from August to December is still there because it might be at 18 Rand in August and going to 18 Rand 90 in December. So you are focusing on making those profits each and every month so that by the end of the year, there is a big amount of money that you've made and your initial amount is still there. So the benefits of dollar cost averaging is regular investments are made, whether the market prices are high or low. DCA lessens the effect of short-term price volatility because you're not looking at how to make a quick buck. You're looking to swing your positions. And this strategy cultivates discipline in investing habits. Now, we have a function that you guys can use on your app. You go onto the Remitano app, you go through all these features that we use over here, and there's a reoccurring buy that you click on over here. You click on reoccurring buy with the calendar, and then what you do is you put the amount that you want to buy, you put your next purchase. So when you get paid, maybe it's the 30th of each month, and you look at when the 30th is, it's on next week, I don't know, Tuesday maybe. You put the date, you put the time that you want your purchase to make because when you get paid, and then you say, do you want this cycle to reoccur weekly on a Monday, monthly on each, month end, or bi-weekly, etc. Because when you get paid. And basically, you can automate your dollar cost averaging where you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to watch the charts, look, oh no, the price of the dollar right now is at 17 and then next month it's at 18. No, all you do is you automate, you set and you forget it. And then what the app does is that it shows you how many times you have bought. Every time that you have bought the dollar, it'll put here 2 times, and this is how much you've bought, and it'll continue to automatically buy for you. And what it does is that it calculates the change or percentage, your profit margin, each and every time that the dollar goes up. So this is an automatic trading strategy that you can use without having to think. You set it, it automatically takes, the date, the time, and the frequency, and then it calculates the profit for you to say, this is the amount of money that you've made over this period of automatically buying dollar cost averaging. Strategy number 2 that we're going to look at is Remitano lending. Now, an overview of Remitano's lending feature is that this feature allows users to deposit the USDT and earn an annual interest rate of more than 5%. Now, the benefits of the lending feature are this. You're not locked into a fixed term contract of any sort. You can withdraw or deposit funds at any given time that suits you. You can earn income passively, and your money is completely safe as the borrower of the cryptocurrency has a guarantee. Now, how this works is that it's almost the same concept as you lending money to another person that needs crypto. So let's say you take either a lump sum or an amount that you are willing to invest as an asset. You go onto the lending platform, you put that amount there, and Remitano is willing to give you a 5% return on your investment that you will yield. It's like a yield fund that you are using, a crypto yield fund. And the cool thing about this is that it doesn't mean that you are locked into any, time frame. It doesn't say you have to keep your money in there for a year. You have to keep your money in there for 6 months. Literally, you can go onto the app right now, put $1,000 and make, what's the percentage on that? So let's say it's $1,000 at 5%, $50. And then you withdraw your amount. You get your $50 and you literally are making money work for you. The best investors, whether it's crypto, real estate, stocks, indices, it doesn't matter, are people who have the ability to make their money work for them. So with Remitano lending, you can take a percentage of your money, put it away, and then when you don't need it, let it work for you. And then when you're like, I need that $1,000 back, you go back to the app, you withdraw, and you've been making a 5% return on that investment. Now, this video is going to show you guys exactly how to use the lending feature. So how the lending feature actually works. Is you go onto the app, you click on lending, and then you put the amount that you want, and you make sure that you click on borrow. You put your fiat currency on, and you can calculate. They give you obviously an APY of the yearly profit earning, and you basically deposit the money in. And once the asset is locked in, you start to earn your 5%. Just like that. It's probably like 4 clicks and you're able to earn 5% on your capital investment. So that is the second strategy that we are sharing with you today that you can use to actually make passive income using cryptocurrencies as a investment tool. The third one is to set your price on swap and earn incomes. Now, what is the importance of setting your own price in swap? You can earn money from price changes. It'll trade for you automatically, and how it generates additional income. So basically is when you set your price and you swap in order to earn, what you are doing is that you are looking at the current price of maybe the dollar. Just for an example, you look at the price of the dollar and you're like, the dollar is sitting at 17.52. What if the dollar drops tomorrow? I don't want to lose money. So I'm not going to want to buy maybe $1,000 if the dollar is going to drop to 16 Rand tomorrow. What you want to do is you want to set a price to say, I want the entry of my asset to begin at maybe 18 Rand. So as soon as it hits 18 Rand, then your position, you could say, is activated. And once your position is activated, you obviously are locked into making a deposit. And as it increases, you are getting almost notified and earning money as the dollar goes up or USDT goes up and up and up. But the safeguard with this is that it's not like you're buying dollars, and then if they drop, you start to make a loss. So it's almost like setting, like for people who do maybe some form of stock trading or Forex trading, it's like setting, like a sell stop where you're saying, I'm waiting for price to get to 18 Rand, but I don't want to enter my position if it's lower than 18 Rand. And once it gets to 18 Rand, your position is in, and you start to earn profits as the price increase, and then you're able to monitor it, which I think it's a cool strategy because you don't have to chart watch. You don't have to be waking up every day looking at the position of the US dollar in comparison to your fiat currency. Is the US dollar going up? Is the US dollar going down? You just set your position from today to say, as long as it enters from this position, I know that I'm making a profit. And as it grows, you are earning your income. Now, it's a very effective way to position yourself to capitalize on price movement. It's important to note that predicting price can be very risky due to the volatile nature of cryptocurrency. So this is a tool that lets you mitigate a little bit of that risk, because you are not, it's almost like you're not investing and then seeing where the market goes. You are saying, if the market moves in my direction, then I'm ready to enter. So how do you actually set your own price on the Remitano swap? This video is going to show you how. So number one is you choose the two types of swap. So you identify the market price, the current market price. You click on that and you look at the market price of Bitcoin, USDT, now, what you do is you set your desired price so that it swaps at the price that you want it to go to. So you go back to your Bitcoin, you go back to your USDT, you put in the amount or the price level that you are ready to almost buy at. And it wants to confirm, okay, this is the price that you want. You carry on with your life. You can stop the order at any time. Obviously, if you're like, no, I don't want to carry on with the trade. But if you leave it there, as price comes to your level, it clicks in, and as it increases in your level or it moves in your direction, you start to make a profit. Very easy. And guys, these are the three strategies that we are sharing today. It's the dollar cost averaging, where you are able to, buy dollars, whether it's bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly, that you are able to, in the long term, swing the increase of the dollar in comparison to your fiat currency. It's the ability to actually swap, where you are swapping your the price of the dollar. You're swapping it now to the future price, where you just you are lending people your crypto asset at 5%, and then you are setting the price index to say, okay, this is the price that I want to come in. I'm going to set my position, and once it gets into my position, then you can go. And these are the tools that we want to share with you as Remitano to make sure that our clients are educated in a way that they can make money digitally and they can make money passively without having to actually leave the office or leave their house. And we just want to add value to you guys as our clientele, which is the reason that we're doing this Make Money Online course. There are going to be more of these that are tackling different issues, different ways, and different strategies for you guys to make money. But this is the three strategies that we wanted to share with you guys today. And I think that's it for now. We can move on, Faleo.
All right. Thanks, Sam, for that great one. It was actually interesting. I learned a lot of people here. I know the information is quite a lot for some people to swallow, but I have two things to say. You can fact check me, right? The global crypto adoption rate is sitting at around 4.2% globally. So that means that out of every 100 person you see, only about 4 persons understand the world of cryptocurrency at the very basic level. So it means that we are still at the very, very early stages of the cryptocurrency. And for every single person who has been putting efforts to understand what the crypto space is like, trust me, you don't know what you have. You don't know the kind of opportunity you have. That is one. Number two is that I don't know if you're familiar with Nigerian news. As of this is July. As at last month, June, I think the Naira was sitting around 5 officially around 550, 570. I'm not so sure. Then in the black market, so because we have two rates in Nigeria, in the black market, we have the dollar was sitting at around 750. The margin was crazy. But now we have a new government, and the government decided to unify the the rate, the dollar rate in comparison with the naira. So we no longer have black market and bank rates. So they're unifying the two rates. And did you know what happened? Ever since that time, the naira has been dropping massively. So as of today, the naira is exchanging for the dollar at around 870 naira per dollar. So if as a Nigerian, you had hedged your naira in dollars when it was around 600 or 700, today you're having more money in naira. And let's assume you don't see it that way, because obviously things are going to get more expensive. But the most important thing is that you are not losing money. Your money is adjusting with the situation of things. And that is the essence of why, or what we are talking about here. That is the essence of why we are here. You need to understand that it is critical that you know how to play the money game. Because the truth is, not everybody has the bogus amount of money to invest in fixed assets like land and all of those things, because those things are quite pricey. But the little amount of money you have, how do you protect it from getting so devalued and it becomes really, really worthless? Because you don't have that big money just yet. And somehow inflation is eating deep into the money in your bank account. Whether you believe it or not, inflation is eating deep into your savings. So you are saving money, inflation is eating deep into your savings. So the only way to adjust and flow with the tide is to understand how to use your money at the very basic level, how to adjust what the value of your money is per time. And I think that is quite amazing. This is very, very interesting. I am sure a lot of people will still need to go over this meeting. We have this meeting recorded. It is going to be posted on YouTube, and we have the slides that we're going to share pretty much later. So let's go straight into the Q&A. I had to leave some questions, because in the course of the conversations, there were questions asked that we were answering in the course of the conversation, but I really left some out because I really wanted you to do justice to those questions. So someone said, okay, let me quickly read this out. Someone said, you said something about recurring trade. I want to understand more about that recurring trade. How profitable is it, sir?
Okay. Okay, the reoccurring trade, it's a swing trade. So I think they're talking about either the dollar cost averaging. Well, like you've just mentioned, Falaye, it's like, imagine that person had bought, I always use $1,000 as an example, $1,000 3 months ago, and $1,000 even 2 months before that increase had happened. It's as profitable, guys, as the exchange rate is from the dollar to your fiat currency. So you mustn't look at this thing as like something that's external to you. Let's make it very simple. Imagine you are buying a good from another country, tomatoes, and tomatoes overseas are selling for 18 Rand, and tomatoes in your country, people don't have tomatoes and they have to buy them, like you're saying, for 1,000 Rand. All you are doing is you are buying them from overseas, and you are keeping them in your country because you know that the value in your country, it's more hard to get tomatoes in your country than it is to get overseas. It's exactly the same with dollar cost averaging or buying the USDT. You are buying a product, a digital product that's worth more than the product that they currently sell in your country. And all you are doing is, the longer that you hold onto that product, or the more of that product that you can buy, the more money or more profit you can make.
All right. I to be honest, I believe that is actually explanatory enough based on everything you've said. I'll quickly go to, although Antonio has answered this question in the Q&A section, but I'd actually like for you to also answer it. Daniel said, please, I don't understand the hedging of USDT on cryptocurrency volatility, because USDT always changes in market price as other cryptocurrency do. Please explain more.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I get what he's saying. He's saying he doesn't understand hedging it because the USDT actually fluctuates just like other cryptocurrencies. Yes. Now, but the thing is that if we're comparing USDT to another cryptocurrency, besides, I mean, obviously we know gold, when we talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are like premium coins. But bar Bitcoin and Ethereum, what other coins are you going to buy in the crypto world? You're going to be buying your Dogecoin, your meme coins. You're going to be buying coins that people are creating literally a couple of months ago that they're going to pump up, and all of a sudden there's a trend. Stable coins, your USDT, in comparison. So let's, zoom out and use examples that are a bit more practical. If the gold standard is already set and the silver standard is already set, and we've got like these bronze, like bronze competitors that are coming up, these fly-by-nights, then the volatility that is happening at the bottom, all these new coins, because having a new coin or buying a new cryptocurrency is like a hit or miss. It's either you're going to be a multi-millionaire when you wake up tomorrow, or you've just spent all your life savings and you've lost it. And you can't invest like that. You can't put money and take care of your family with the hit or miss where it's gambling. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't do that. And with the big coins like your Ethereum and your Bitcoin, the cost to buy them is a bit high now. To actually buy them and make a profit is a bit high. So what are you left with? It's either you're going to actually buy stable coins, which is like your USDT, which is stable. And when we say stable, it doesn't mean that it does not change. It means that it does not change extremely. Now, if you look at the exchange rate of the dollar to your current fiat currency, if you look at it from last year to this year, there's no place where the dollar changes so extremely that it even jumps in 10 points in one day. It doesn't happen. It gradually changes. It's like, 17 Rand 52 and then 18 Rand 30. It's a gradual change over time. That's the stability that we're talking about in buying a stable coin like USDT. Whereas if you buy a meme coin, you buy it for $1, you wake up tomorrow, yes, it could be worth $100, or it could be worth nothing. It's a gambling situation. So when we talk about leveraging the to not have volatility, what we're saying is, yes, volatility, we're not talking about movement. Volatility, we're talking about high spike, low spike. That's volatility. But when something moves in an average range, it's not really volatile. It's actually pretty stable. I don't know if that assists with Antonio's explanation.
Yeah, actually did. Thank you very much. Anthony is asking, is hedging the same as recurring buy? While I really just wanted to touch on this question. So Anthony, hedging is simply, is really just an English word. So when you hedge your money against inflation, or you hedge your money against something, it means you're protecting your money against that thing. So hedging your naira against inflation using the dollar means that you're trying to protect the value of your naira against inflation. You don't want your naira to lose value, but now you are using the dollar to hedge your naira against inflation. So it means that while the dollar to the naira is relatively low or lower, you are buying the dollar with your naira, waiting for when the naira will lose its value. For example, I'm using naira because I'm in Nigeria, or if you're in South Africa, waiting for when the South African rand is going to lose value, then you can now decide to, because the truth is you don't make profit until you have sold what you bought. So that's when until the trade cycle is completed, you can't say that you've made profit. So you bought dollar at 17 Rand, and right now dollar is selling for, say, 19 Rand. If you've not sold the dollar you bought, you've not made profit. But if you're selling for 19 Rand and you now decide to sell that dollar you bought, now you can say you've made a profit of 2 Rand on each dollar you bought. That way you've hedged your Rand against inflation using the dollar. I don't know if that actually answers it. I just felt like I needed to explain that word hedging. So the question is now asking now is Is hedging the same as recurring buy? I'd like you to throw more light on that, Sam.
Okay. No, hedging is not, like you've explained, hedging is not the same as recurring buy. When you hedge against something, just to give you maybe an example, let's say we'll use boxing as an example. So for an example, let's say it's Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Hedging would be, just for an example, you put 1,000 naira to say Mayweather is going to win, and you put 1,000 naira to say Manny Pacquiao is going to win. And hedging is basically saying whether it goes up, whether Mayweather wins, I make money. Whether Manny Pacquiao wins, I make money. So when we say hedging, what we are saying is that you living in a third world country, so you make naira irrespective, you make rands, you make rupee irrespective. So you already have that currency. So if the rand becomes stronger, who benefits? I benefit, because the rand is now stronger. If the rand goes to, 1:1 with the dollar, I win because I have rands. But what happens if the dollar becomes stronger? Then I lose. So when we say hedging, we say, guys, what if Manny Pacquiao wins, or what if Mayweather wins? Buy dollars, so that, because you already have your fiat country, so that if one wins, you guys already have dollars. For example, I had this conversation with a few family members, and they were like, oh, so most of your transactions are done in dollars. And I said, yes. And they said, you see, you're in a good position, because if the dollar gets stronger, you're making money. But if the dollar gets weaker, you still have your South African rand, so you lose nothing. That is what we mean by hedging. It's by having both sides of, the competitors together, so that if one of them wins, you win on both sides. When it comes to reoccurring purchases, what we are saying is that you are automating your trades. So for example, the price action, you are choosing, okay, price action is going to come in at this price, and then I'm going to enter. Or you are saying through dollar cost averaging, I'm going to set, it's like setting an alarm. I'm going to set an alarm on my bank that's going to buy $10 each and every month, irrespective of whether the dollar is up or it's down. That is the reoccurring purchase, is setting an alarm to make a purchase. Each month on the 30th, I'm going to buy $10. That's the difference between the two. I don't know if I've answered your question there, Falia.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for, people have quite a number of questions outside of the scope of what we are discussing. And I would really encourage you guys, if you have any question outside the scope of what we are talking about, I would really encourage you to send in your question in form of an email, reach out to the in-app customer support, or even as a public post on any of our social media platform, or the Discord channel or the Facebook group. We'll be happy to tackle your general questions outside of the scope of what AMA is about, because we wouldn't want to really go outside of the scope of the conversation just because you have like critical questions that are actually worrying you. So I think someone is saying, how can we benefit with the situation of dollar hike? So Sam, let me explain what this guy is trying to say. Right now, the dollar is already like at its literally like at its all-time high, record high, in comparison with Naira. I'm just using that as an example because I'm in Nigeria. So now I can't go and buy the dollar again, because right now I feel like the dollar is very high. The only thing that can make me buy the dollar right now is if I still expect or anticipate that the dollar is going to go higher in comparison with my currency. So how do I still benefit from using a stable coin, using dollar to protect my funds?
I think you've answered it in a certain aspect, in saying if the dollar is at an all-time high, which you are correct. I mean, I remember, I think it was 3 months back, the dollar was like almost 18.90. I remember having a conversation with someone, to the rand, and we were like, I wanted to see it push, to 20 and just hit 20 rand to the 20 rand to $1. But what you're saying is true. What happens is that if it gets to the top of its peak, or it hits a resistance at the top, like you're saying, it has to come down, or it has to retest a little bit, gather some strength before it goes back up again. So there is a little bit of forethought that you have to use to actually see, is this the right time to buy? Just because it's the dollar, it doesn't mean that it's exactly the right time to buy that specific asset. Just like the housing market, everyone says, buy a house, it's an asset, buy a house, buy. But right now, the price of buying a house is so high. Is it literally the right time to buy a house, or do we have to wait for the housing market to, calm down and everyone to retest a bit and then to look into buying? The benefit, however, is, I think here, guys, what we're trying to communicate is that through Remitano and through the platform, you have the accessibility to buy that asset without the barriers to entry that you have in normal life. If you want to go buy a dollar in real life, you have to go to a bank or a foreign exchange, and it becomes very difficult. There's red tape. Where does it come from? Blah, blah, blah. All those things that stop you from buying it. But what we're trying to show you guys is that given the right time, all you need literally is this and the app, and you can now buy an asset very quickly. I think that is the highlight that we're trying to say. And we're trying to educate you to say, when you believe it is the right time to buy it, now you know how to do it,
Interesting. That makes sense. Someone says, thanks for answering my question, Sam. All right.
Pleasure.
So a quick addition to that would be, sometimes in critical times like this, you can put your Naira to work. So on Remitano, we still have another feature that is outside the scope of what we've discussed, and that's the P2P feature, where you can actually put your fiat currency to work. So you can start to actively buy stable currency and pretty much any other cryptocurrency, and actively sell and capitalize on the price difference. So you've bought USDT, for example, for the sake of analysis, at say 17 Rand per USDT, and you are specifically selling it at maybe 17.2, picking that 0.2 as price difference. Right now, you're not particularly just trying to hold your money in dollar, hoping that the dollar is going to appreciate. Then when it really appreciates, you are going to change it back to your fiat currency. Right now, you are putting your fiat currency to active work, but then it has to, your involvement matters a lot. You have to put up an ad, you have to be actively trading. And trust me, a lot of people they've made so much money. I think there was one AMA we had, although it was around fiat partnership, where this guy, his name is also Sam, I think. Yeah, his name is also Sam, who helps, he's a fiat partner in Remitano, and he essentially just helps customers settle withdrawals and deposits, and he just makes little. Now, those little money that you typically overlook, money has a very strong cumulative power. By the time you gather all this money together over a number of transactions every day, you realize how much you are missing out on. This is something a lot of people do full time every day, and they're making a killing from it. So P2P is another feature on Remitano, and I know we've had a lot of AMA sections around P2P. I believe that we would continue to also have more sections around P2P to also encourage you to also engage with that particular feature. It is actually incredible. It has changed a lot of people's lives, and yeah. So that's pretty much a side note. So if you feel like, okay, the dollar is really, really high now, I don't think I want to be buying the dollar now. While I'm waiting, what can I do with my money so that I'm not just waiting? Or there are other things on the platform like P2P that you can use to put your money to work, and you would make a significant amount of profit. So it's really just understanding the whole crypto ecosystem, how it works, how do you maximize your profit, and how do you make the most out of it. So if you have other questions, You can send in your questions in form of, like I said, in form of a message through the customer support, or make it a public post. Would be glad to get your questions. We'll be glad to have them, your concerns resolved. And right now, Sam, we don't have any more questions. I think we've actually we've stayed just to time. Thank you very much for this wonderful section, Sam. It was really nice having you on board. It was nice having you teach us stuff that we don't know. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Please, guys, we need you to do, I need you to do me a favor. Just take a screenshot of whatever it is you're on your screen right now. Take a screenshot and go make a post on your social media platform about this particular AMA. Let us know what you've learned. Let us know, so that people would know, those that did not attend this time around, they will know what they've missed, so that they will be able to, try as much as they can not to miss subsequent sections. So before we put an end to this event, we would wait a while for you guys to take screenshots. I'll also be taking a screenshot. So just take a screenshot of what you can see on your screen. Then just go to anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, but more importantly, the Facebook group. We have over 25,000 people on that community. It's weird that we don't have that large volume of people. But then the whole conversation is not for everybody, but for people who are actually willing to take their finances to the next level. So take a screenshot, go and make a post. Every single post that has to do with this AMA, I'll be approving every single one of them today. So that would be it from my end. I don't know, Sam, if you have a closing remark before we call it a day.
I think you've summed it up, guys. That was an amazing event. Thanks for your time. We appreciate your time a lot. And like mentioned, guys, there's going to be more events like this, more detailed. This is us just trying to start to get the ball rolling. As more people show interest and attend, we'll go into more details, have more workshops. And like mentioned, we'll get some people who have done this, who are doing this daily, to start to share their testimonials and maybe go deeper into their strategies. But I think that's it for now.
All right. Thanks very much, Sam. So the video for this section will be up anytime soon, and the material for this AMA will be sent to us soonest. So thank you very much, guys. This is where we draw the curtain. Thank you for joining in. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.